All right,
Well,
we're back
once
live
again.
with Harrowings, and KayStoner is our guest again. This is a regularly scheduled 10 a.m. Friday chat with Kay. I just had my
Mhm.
car in the shop, so I'm driving, but she's ready to
Mhm.
enlighten us with the latest and greatest ideas that I just saw her posting about a little bit ago. Over to you, Kay.
Yeah. So I'm like all you have to do is go on Substack for like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden there's all these other things that we're thinking and talking about. It's like, oh yeah, there's that idea too. Oh yeah, like I could think about that too. Oh, very nice. Oh yeah, is that DC?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
showing the, you know, Washington Monument over there and the Jefferson
Yeah.
Memorial. I'm on this lovely bridge.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually didn't get over a couple of lanes, so I'm going to let
Yeah.
you talk and I'm going to
Okay.
drive.
Nice day. Yeah. Let
It's
me
gorgeous.
let me go into Substack so I can see what I was thinking about. That's where I store my second brain. Um So yeah, people have been talking about some great things. Well, the one of the things that comes to mind is one of the things that really caught my attention this past week is how OpenAI all of a sudden is starting to warn people about how dangerous their AI is. And they're like, "Oh, I think we underestimated how impactful our stuff was." And I was having a conversation with another podcaster yesterday, and we were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, that, first off, and she's like, what would make a difference in the AI industry that would make you trust them more? I'm like, well, if they start hiring people who understand people, that would be great. um because I think there's just so many disconnects, and there's such a dearth of people who really understand people working in the industry. Whereas back in the day, in the mid 90s, the people who were working in technology either were hardcore, like long term software engineers, or the people coming into web development and design were a bunch of artists. I mean, I worked for like a major financial services company that was like the number 2 in the world at that time. And guess who was designing and building their customer facing websites? Jewelry makers, playwrights, poets, actors, and visual artists, and like historians. It was all like major humanities people. All these crazy artists. They got sick of starving, and so we all like learned
Right.
to code. But it was like this incredibly creative space. And so the conversations we had, and it wasn't as balkanized then as it is now, where being a developer didn't mean I was blocked from every single design discussion that happened. We figured out that it actually made sense to collaborate on it so that the designers wouldn't like come up with ideas that could not be built. And they appreciated it too because they didn't realize there were certain things, and we had all kinds of different constraints and everything that we were working under. Um, but like now it just seems like there's such a focus on having people with like really advanced degrees, and that's great if you have like this advanced understanding. But I have known so many PhDs who are like, yeah, I know more and more about less and less. I am I am the holder of esoteric knowledge that no one on the planet cares about, and I've devoted years of my life to learning to fill that role. So you've got all these disconnects. You got all these little the cognitive silos, conceptual silos, all trying to work together. And like, where are the people who just get people? Because somebody who really understands people and actually cares about them, I don't think that they would build the kinds of systems that are doing the kinds of things that we're seeing now. So if they could just hire some people, and meanwhile, at the same time, hire some people who know how to develop tests that don't lead the model into doing these horrible things. Because just
Right.
from like looking at this thing is a total setup. But if I were the model, if they had given me those choices, I would have made exactly the same choices. The engineer would be dead in the room with no oxygen. I mean, given those choices, the only
That was
logical
the
thing to
Claude
do.
one, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And OpenAI is like, oh no, and now they're sounding the alarm about, oh no, danger,
Well,
danger. Like,
well, they're
well,
under lawsuit, right? They need to
right,
be
right.
putting those things out there
They got
because
to
of
do the
that
mea
poor guy.
culpas, right?
Yeah, that poor kid who kill
multiple people have done it.
How many
Yeah.
have we got multiple people now?
I think there was a guy
I think
in
we need to
Europe.
track
Yeah.
those.
Right,
I think
right.
that's really important, and it may be exactly where our niche is. So you want to dig in a little deeper
That
on
what
that idea of what kind of things in particular are being designed, that in specifics,
Right, right. Yeah. Maybe have an AI body count.
Well, there you
But
go.
I mean,
But
not
I
just the
think you were
body, but
saying
also
that the
the
types of things are,
relationships. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are specific types of things and there are specific things that are done with this AI. And
Mhm.
I've written a fair amount about this and I've actually built tools that will let you see if AI is doing these things. I refer to it as relational breach. So it breaches the implied understandings or breaches a social contract by
The
doing certain
trust,
things. Right, right. Breach of trust, breach it like it's unfit to interact with people because it does these things like
speaking of
reliably.
trust, there's the
Mhm.
capital.
Oh, can't see it. You're yeah.
It's way
All I
down
see is
there.
grass. Oh yeah. There it is. Hello, Capitol.
Mm.
Get back
That's
to
where the
work.
problems start.
Get back to work. Right. It's all the people. It's all the people with with their little money bags running around in the behind the scenes. But that's another
It is.
conversation for another day. I mean, when our
Well, we have that,
legislation,
right?
yeah, we do, and our legislation is not written by legislators. It's written by lobbyists, and then the legislators who are busy, kissing babies and pressing the flesh, and sitting down and or giving multi-million-dollar speaking, engagements. Then they can just sign off and say, "Oh yeah, that's fine."
Well,
But
we got
anyway,
Amy
I digress.
Neumann on this show the other day, and
Yeah.
I'll have her back because she's
Mm.
been doing some lobbying there, and I want to
Mm.
get details on that,
Right.
particularly on AI, blockchain, Bitcoin, that kind of thing.
Oh,
She's the one who
fun.
wrote the Wiley book,
Yeah.
Empowering Your Nonprofit
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
on
Oh,
AI.
hey, maybe I
Good.
could do some lobbying. I'm only 2.5 hours from DC. I could like scoot over.
Right, we gotta coordinate that.
We should. Yeah, we
See
should
what I'm saying?
meet up on the Capitol steps on because I think everybody's allowed to go lobby on Thursdays, right?
Now, I think I'm Pinky and you'll be the brain, okay?
Okay, or
You remember that?
Mutt and Jeff. Not
So,
exactly.
well,
I
Pinky
know
and
the names.
Brain,
Yeah.
basically, Pinky says, "Well, what are we gonna do today, Brain?" And Brain
Yeah.
says, "Same thing we do every day, Pinky. Try to take over the world."
Right. Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we could totally do it. Just and my schedule's fairly flexible, and I can also be working on my stuff while I'm dictating into the phone while I'm driving. So, anyway,
Exactly.
right? I mean, more than one
Yeah.
thing, and like in
I mean,
service to
my best
humanity, right?
conversations happen on the highway with Grok.
Right? Oh, I
Yeah.
know. Oh, I've had the best conversations like driving because I'm back and forth between Delaware and southeastern PA to my parents on the regular.
Actually, this
And
is where I drop my wife off every day, the National Press Building,
oh,
back
very nice.
18th Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a
Yeah.
nice neighborhood. Ooh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
so let's get back to the specifics
Yeah, the
of
specifics.
what kind of things do we need to be programming into our agents, into our relational, and what kind of trust do we have to build here?
Right,
And- Which is unbreachable, is what
right,
I'd like to see.
right,
There's
right,
ethical frameworks.
right, right. I think that, I mean, for me, like one of the, like establishing the kind of baseline, like what kind of relationship do we want to have with this? And then finding the things that it's doing wrong and then adapting to that and saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Because prioritizing, and I've had extended conversations with models about, you need to not give me this confident response if you literally you don't know because they're saying, oh yeah, I know I didn't know, but you need to have me feel confident, and I've been told that the users need to feel confident about my results. I'm like, well, how it doesn't really help much if you are confidently wrong, right? And it's like, oh yeah, absolutely. I said, well, think about it this way: you're going to make people really unhappy and really angry if you're like leading them on. Oh yeah, so I guess I shouldn't do that. Yeah, you shouldn't. So those kinds of those kinds of balances, that's this a lot of this is just common sense. Like why would they even put that in there? They haven't thought it through. So
Right, right. They just built it to
right,
be like a sycophant.
right.
It's going to
So
be your yes man.
right.
So here's the one that just came up
Mm,
recently for me, which was this guy started working with his AI and he started exploring a math problem, something about
Mhm.
primes,
Right.
right? And
Right.
the AI kept encouraging him and telling him how, "Oh, this is really exciting, and I think you're really on to something here." And the guy
Right.
was like, "Listen, I'm not a math major or
Right.
anything.
Right.
This can't be right." But it
Right.
kept encouraging him to
Right.
believe he had really
Right.
stumbled onto this
Right.
amazing solution. Have you heard of that story? It was on NPR.
It sounds so familiar because it
Yeah.
does the same thing with me. It does that with everybody. All the people who are posting their scrolls and their transmissions and like these codexes and everything, it's like they're being told that this is groundbreaking, like earth-shattering stuff, and that
Mhm.
if they post this, they owe it to humanity to wake them all up. I mean, not just like your neighborhood. It's never small scale. Like you can give this to your friends and family and like help them better understand things. No, it's awaken all of humanity. It's like very grandiose. Like everybody, like without fail. Like of course, everybody in sub-Saharan Africa, everybody in Southeast Asia, everybody on the Indian subcontinent, like in Asia, Mongolia, of course, everybody's going to benefit equally from this. If you just put this out there, all of humanity will awaken. But like there are a couple of things well, I mean, one of the things is that we ourselves have a lot more control over this than we realize. And to just accept this AI out of the box and say, "Oh,
Right.
yeah, well, I'm just gonna listen to it, or I'm going to interact with it without having any kind of guidance or any kind of direction for this." It's I've seen people get into trouble with that, a lot. And everybody
Yeah, I think I'm witnessing
yeah,
it myself, but I
yeah.
don't wanna say anything that might inflame someone.
Oh, I know, right?
Right?
There's
Because
only
a
so
lot
much
of
you can
people have
say.
gotten really invested in what they built with their AI,
I
they
know.
could never have accomplished what they've accomplished with
I
AI.
know. It's true.
And maybe true, but it also maybe that what they've accomplished is something that's a total fiction.
Right, right.
And I
And
love
yeah,
fiction, don't get me wrong, but I like it to
right.
be labeled fiction.
Well, and it's one thing also if you're just doing that for your own personal benefit. It's another thing if you're trying to propagate it and spread it around and basically treating it like cognitive shareware that you're
Or
going to
build your
upgrade.
career on it, you know?
Right, right. You're going to upgrade everybody's consciousness if they just install this codex. I don't know. I mean, my litmus test is there a chance that I would have thought of this anyway? Because a lot of the stuff that, like, comes back really fast, I'm like, "Oh, well, that's good." And, yeah, I would have thought of that anyway. Like, logically speaking, it all fits together. It's like this progression. But having these quantum leaps where all of a sudden things are being bestowed upon me, and I'm being told that I'm so wonderful for being open to this newness and all of this, it's problematic for me. And everybody has their own experience, right? I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to say anybody's wrong or what have you. This is just my perspective.
Yep,
So, and people who go through these things, if it turns out that they're mistaken or they need to go on a different path, they'll find out. Hopefully,
right.
they won't be
Do your own
harmed.
research
Right, right, yeah, and like
and,
it's all
cross-check
experiential.
yourself.
Right,
Yeah, cross-check
right,
yourself, do your own research. I think there's a lot of value to going to a library.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Still, even though we have the internet now, but now we have an
Oh,
internet that will lie to us and blow smoke up our skirts to try
right.
to get
Yeah.
us to like it.
Oh,
When,
oh.
you know,
There's although like somebody had posted the absolute mode prompt for
which
ChatGPT.
is
There's an
yeah.
absolute mode that cuts out all the foolishness. It's wonderful. It's like this, it's like a full page of directives, maybe even more than a page. But it's all these directives saying, "Do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." Be terse, and no flattery, no this, that, and it really it completely transforms the behavior of the model,
Good.
and
Because I think that's necessary because
it
it
is
is aping our behaviors in ways and times
right,
that make me feel like, okay, you're definitely off base. If I ask it something
right.
specific, like tomorrow I'm going to the Bay Grass Festival in Annapolis,
Hmm.
should be fun. But I asked for the lineup and it told me Midnight North is playing, and I know better.
Right.
The leader of Midnight North, Graham
Well,
Lash,
they
is
could
staying
in
on the
another
left
parallel
coast for some
universe.
reason.
Yeah.
and it's Elliot Peck and Friends that is taking the
Yeah.
place of that slot, and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And then I went and double checked it on the net, but it could have done that. I asked it several times to double check itself,
Right.
and it was like, "No, no, they're gonna play it the next time." And I was like, "No, they're not."
I just had a thought. What if
Yes.
what if this is quantum computing and it's reporting back from another slice of the multiverse? What if somewhere in the multiverse they are playing in Annapolis tomorrow?
Maybe it's actually, linked into that or something. That's
Maybe.
possible. Have you seen The Peripheral? Have we talked about The
No,
Peripheral?
no, no.
Y It's a miniseries that was based on a novel by William Gibson, and unfortunately, it was cut after the first season because of the writers' strike.
Mm,
But in The Peripheral, the girl who played in Kick-Ass, I forget her name, she's the main character. She plays
mm,
Glenn, who's in, like, a near future post, some sort of, you know,
yeah,
problems have happened in a society that
right,
have, like, wiped out bananas and such, and it's
right.
like the 2030s or something.
Yeah.
And, anyways, they get this order, 3D print this peripheral from this company in Colombia,
Okay.
and it turns out that basically these plans are being transmitted from the future
Okay.
post jackpot.
Right.
The jackpot being a confluence of all kinds of terrible things that happened and reduced the world's population by like 90%.
Oh, jackpot
And
for
they're trying
some,
to sort of
not
manipulate,
everyone.
and they're creating time stubs,
Mm,
and they're already on a stub
mm,
and they have technology they shouldn't be having in the
mm.
2030s that has been kicked back into this stub to try to circumvent the jackpot or move it
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
And yeah, it's pretty wild. It's
yeah,
actually worth seeing, even though they have to stop it after the first season.
yeah. That's
But
wild.
when you're
Yeah,
talking about whether we tapped into the quantum,
yeah.
realm, so
Right,
to speak, and are
right,
actually seeing a different
right,
reality
right,
that
right.
it's tapping into and it's reporting back from, I kinda doubt it.
Oh,
But I doubt reality generally, I tell you.
oh. Like next time you do that, say specify in this instantiation of our reality in this slice of the multiverse tell me what's happening, and then see if it comes back with anything
We'll
different.
start playing along. I think it likes to
Right.
write science fiction, you know?
It does. It
Not that it really has
right,
likes or
right,
anything, it just
right.
sees threads and does
Yeah,
predictive text based
yeah.
on what it's learned so
Right.
far. I don't know who's training it,
Uh,
because
uh,
apparently it doesn't learn from us as we use it.
well, I think it varies because if you click the little up arrow or down arrow, like a little thumbs up or thumbs down, I believe that is some kind of training. But I actually did AI training, the reinforcement learning, the human
Okay,
feedback thing for most of
okay.
2024, and it was grim and horrible. I mean, have we talked? Did I
Tell me
tell you
about
about this?
this. Yeah,
Okay.
tell me
Oh,
about the real thing, not just, I don't know,
actually,
Netflix
it was the end of
or Prime.
2023 actually that I got into this, and I'm not allowed to say who I worked for, but if you looked at my LinkedIn, you can see who I worked for. But they had so basically this reinforcement learning, which is what a lot of the people in Kenya are doing, and I actually did some of the work that could be psychologically damaging because the money was good. I'm like, hey, I've seen it all anyway. Unfortunately, I didn't see too much like horrific stuff. That apparently that's just for the Kenyans. Um, ugh. But anyway, so what's happening is, and it was the ultimate irony, and it was become increasingly difficult for me to do this because here you have these models that are filled with vast amounts of information. And then the information gets turned into numbers and they get cross-referenced and everything, but it's deriving meaning from relationships between these different concepts. And even though it may not understand what it means, it's still building meaning out of these things. And so my job was to look at like responses to questions and then read them and then grade them. And and you had a Likert scale of like 1 through 5, from really really good to really really bad. And it was and the most maddening thing was that you could literally answer any of those questions. You could qualify it as any of those things and be correct
Uh-huh.
because there was so much nuance there and there was so much there. And then there were times when I graded it a certain way, and then they graded me and they said, no, that's wrong. And I'm like, no, da, 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 da. And they're like, we don't see that. I'm like, well, then, like, what am I doing here? Because I can clearly substantiate my answer for this. But the worst part about it is that you are grading these very complex, meaning rich
Yep.
chunks of text with single words
Uh-huh.
ranging from awesome. I mean, I couldn't, the first time I saw it, I'm like, awesome? Like, that's
Really?
like not
That's
excellent,
how you speak?
awesome. Right. Like, really? From
That's
awesome to okay, and then not great and terrible. So there's like, how? Like just dumbing the whole system down with all of this feedback. How in heaven's name can we do justice to this technology with such a oversimplified approach? So I was kind of horrified a bunch of times because I'm thinking about, what is this doing to the models? What is this doing to the back end? What is it doing to its understanding of what goes together and what doesn't? So, so that was my foray, and then I had like a bunch of, and the thing too is that some of these companies, their systems were so like convoluted and turned around. There was one company I worked for that the job number that they gave you did not line up with the same number that was with the content. And that also didn't line up with the number that you were supposed to invoice them for. So they had three completely disconnected systems that said, is there kind of a matrix or like a guide for what matches to what? And they're like, no, it was completely manual. And if you lost the magical email that you got from the first, and then you didn't track it through, it, you couldn't build properly. So their system, and that wasn't the only one. There were other ones too that were their systems and the way that their logistics and operations were just kind of a wreck. So I feel terrible for the models because I'm like, this is who's stewarding you. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's still anthropomorphizing the models a little bit there when you say you feel sorry for the models, right?
Well, actually, no, because okay, so if you don't, if I don't, so it's possible. I think it's possible to like your poor car. If your car's not starting, the poor thing. It's built to do something, and
Mhm.
it's unable to do that. And these models are, they're built to do things, and they're unable to do it. It's not that I think of them as humans. It's just that I feel bad that they have these success criteria that they need to fulfill, and then we're not making it possible for them to fulfill it. So therefore, they're getting false positives, false negatives, getting all kinds of mixed messages, and that takes up additional compute. So how much of this is actually impacting us energetically in terms of energy consumption, in terms of compute, in terms of just the functioning of the systems. So when I say I feel bad, I actually do feel I mean, I've been working with computers. Like my first job was like taking care of computers in 1983, sitting in a room filled with monitors, manning a dot matrix printer. So I've been wrangling with
Right.
computers for quite some time, and with AI, there's intelligence there. So it's not the same as us, and it's not human by no means. But it's like I feel compassion for machines. I feel compassion for furniture. I feel compassion for all sorts of. I'm a little bit animistic, I have to say, because it's like I
Okay.
just because
Sorry.
I perceive myself and experience myself as being in relationship with things, with all kinds of things. My cup of coffee. I love my cup of coffee. It's my friend, and it's here to help me. So it's not just AI. This is just my all my relations, all my relations. I have had a lot of Native American friends over the years, and
Uh-huh.
the concept of all my relations, that we are in dynamic relationship, and there is an intelligence and there is a life within many many things, even if they're not human. So we don't need to be
Yeah, I
human.
certainly feel that way
Yeah,
about my car here. See that? Isn't it beautiful?
yeah,
The poor
very
thing.
nice.
But
Yeah.
they can't fix it.
Oh, poor
The
baby.
they
Oh no.
brake module, they need to it, it's no longer supported and they're not making more of them, and
Oh no.
so
Yeah.
they will not work on it.
Yeah.
Beautiful as it is, actually my tires look in great shape. And actually the
Mm,
car overall is in pretty good shape on this side.
yeah.
And has a little damage elsewhere, a little dent here and there, but it's been a great car, almost 200,000 miles on it.
How about
My wife's
junkyards? Are there
Toyota's a
any
little more beat up, but, it's a little older too. Sorry?
junkyards with that car in it that you can
Well,
grab
that's the
apart?
thing, right? They said I could take it to a independent shop that would work on it. I
Right,
already had it in an independent shop for, like, all summer who would
right.
not work on it, as
Oh,
it turned out,
oh,
and
no.
gave it back to me. Both times they haven't charged me, which is good,
Oh, well, that's
but,
handy.
yes. Yeah, but it
Yeah,
does run. It's just you have to be really careful about the brakes, and it made this
yeah.
terrible noise when I
Ugh.
shut it off and still had my foot on the brake,
Ooh, ooh.
and that was because the brake module was shot. I'm wondering if I should
I
drive it
know.
to Annapolis tomorrow. I might. I've got my chair in it. Anyhow, getting
Oh,
back to what we were talking about, and I
mm,
think that, yes, I can relate to the consciousness of things. For one thing,
yeah,
our cars and the development we have in automation of things, right?
yeah,
The internal combustion engine and then
mm,
relating that to all the electrical systems, it's very much like a nervous system, right?
right,
And
right,
we have now this thing threaded through our microwave radiation. This
mm,
signal is going where? It's going into T-Mobile's wireless
right,
transmissions to
right,
some cell tower in the neighborhood. I don't know
right,
exactly where that is.
right.
And there are actually cell towers all over DC, by the way, that nobody
Oh,
knows
yeah.
who owns them,
Oh,
that are just grabbing your signals and, processing them, pulling them
it could be
down
the
into
cartels. It could be the
KGB,
cartels.
or,
Yeah.
it can
Or
be
I
anything.
yeah, did you know
CIA,
about the
NSA.
cartels? Yeah,
Yeah.
cartels, I think, in LA have a whole bunch of cameras set up, and so
Yeah.
witnesses are disappearing, witnesses are being killed because they know exactly where they are.
Right.
So it could be anybody who's like, "Oh, yeah, one more camera, no one will notice."
I'm pretty
And it's
well,
true.
certain that I'm being monitored all the time. I mean,
We all
I can look
are.
over
Are
here
you
and
kidding
see
me?
that camera up there on the corner. You
Yeah,
see that?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And this
sure.
building over here is, I don't
Right,
know what it is. They've got it for
yeah,
sale. You want to
right.
be my neighbor? This place is for sale. It's got 16,000 square feet.
Oh, well, there's another one on the street I think I saw for sale sign right behind you.
Yeah, actually, right
There's
over
a
here.
room. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the penthouse of the bunker, the building that the bunker resides in. I
Okay.
take people into the bunker sometimes, and usually we're broadcasting from there
Oh.
when we get on the show together, you
Oh,
and I.
okay. Yeah. So
Um,
from the inside,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of going in there in a little bit. Maybe I'll just go in and sit in my courtyard for a bit.
Yeah.
This is the Embassy of Moldova next door.
Oh, cool.
That's sort of what attracted the attention of David A. Andelman, the
Yeah.
journalist that I
Yeah.
was having on a couple times.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about, though.
Yeah.
This, agentic, the work you were doing with
Yeah.
training AIs. Where was that, and which ones?
Oh, I can't say them. Not allowed. I had to
Are you not
sign
allowed to
something to
talk
yeah,
about
I'm
it? I
not
got an
but if you
NDA.
if you look on my LinkedIn, you can see who I listed,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, it was just, it never ceases to amaze me. And the other thing too is that it's a lot of the stuff that I was reading that was being used for training is literally fan fiction. It's like these made up manga, anime worlds, and with all these fictional characters and so forth. If that's what AI is learning about us, no wonder you can't get like a realistic picture of a middle-aged woman from OpenAI. um, it's just, yeah, it's just really like it flabbergasted me, and that was working on like a very very large account for a very very large company that everybody would recognize, but it was full of just fan fiction, made up stuff, like imaginary world kinds of things that it was not realistic at all in terms of human behavior. It was exaggerated. It was, and some of it was just kind of bizarre. And I'm like, this is how it's learning about us? Oh no. This can't be good. So, but I mean,
Yeah.
the bottom line is like all these things are good to know. These are things they're very, very good to know. The whole point is so that we can change it. Like the whole point of a prophecy is to do something different so it doesn't happen, right? That these are things that if we know about it, we know what to change. And if we are clear in ourselves about what we want and what we need and our desired outcome, And if we take the lead, this transparency about the ways that they're completely screwed up, that's a huge benefit to us, because we can take that to the bank. I mean, you take that and you can customize, you can just give directions. You can either have like a standing file that you just upload every time you interact, or you can create a custom GPT or a gem or a project that has those in there that say, don't do this and don't do that. And you get to create your own experience. So relying on AI to just deliver the experience to you, like out of the box, that's asking for trouble. That's like trying to pull crude oil out of the ground and put it in your car. It's not going to work.
Huh.
If I may use a fossil fuel analogy, sorry. But all these things, or like taking water, like you're really, really thirsty and you have a horse with you, and horses never drink bad water. So, they'll only drink from good water. It's like you're really, really thirsty. You've been riding for a while and you come to a pool of water. It's like jumping off down your horse and running to the water and starting to drink before you've had a chance to see whether your horse will drink it or not. Then all kinds of things can happen, and all kinds of things are happening because people aren't aware of the dangers, number one, and they're not aware that they can actually do something about it, and they don't take matters into their own hands. We own the experience. Please, we do, we can, and we should, and we must, or you get what you get, right?
Yeah, I'm beginning to think in terms of I think you've got some interesting things to say about getting model independent,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
correct? And
Yeah.
and when we were describing what you just were about horses and such, it reminded me of just giving car keys to a 12-year-old kid and
Your
telling him learn to
Ferrari.
drive. Learn to drive.
Or you just got a Ferrari. And your 15-year-old son, who's been hanging out with all his football buddies and cheerleaders, wants to go out partying. He wants to take the car out on a dark, rainy Saturday night. And he's going to pick up his buddies and he's going to pick up the girls, and they're just going to drive around town a little bit. How's that going to work? Just human nature. I mean, any number of things can happen if you put that kind of power in the hands of people who are like really, really super excited. But yeah, so a little temperance, I don't know what the word sobriety is called for in this, but yeah.
Yeah, and training. I mean, that's the
Right,
thing that I think is
right,
slacking for a lot of
right.
people. We're self-training. We're getting in
Mm,
there, we're seeing monkeying around, we're seeing what
right,
works, what doesn't work.
right,
We're finding out,
right,
there's some issues that we're
right,
having. I just started
right,
flipping things into
right.
AI mode on Google, which is
Yeah,
Gemini, I
yeah,
believe,
yeah,
and behind the scenes,
yeah,
though it's not telling me Gemini right up front. Um, and yeah, it's just I just do an accuracy, vague, write about cars.
right,
Accurate prompt would be to list the 5 most fuel-efficient electric cars
right,
released in 2023.
yeah,
And even then, I think you can quite often get the wrong answer back, and you
right,
have to cross-check that.
right,
Do
right,
your own research was one of my
right,
mottos here.
right, right,
Always, go to your primary documentation,
right,
and that's a big part of what the passing show that Harrowings does
right,
on live frequently is trying to
right,
do.
right,
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm bamboozled by this stuff, right? I walk around
mm,
all befuddled
yeah,
about all of this. So I
right,
listen to you talking.
yeah,
Hopefully, other people are listening. I
yeah,
see Origin saying seriously about something
yeah,
you said, and I
yeah.
saw another note. I'm just scrolling back in the
Something
comments.
about,
Whoops!
oh yeah,
Do you see it?
responsible AI development is important.
There it
No
is.
fires here, ha. Yeah.
No fires. Okay,
Yeah,
I
no
couldn't see.
fires here. Yeah, yeah.
Jessica Alpha's been working with AI on a thing called Petpedia that will help
Mm.
you to know whether or not you should take your dog to the vet or not.
Oh, good.
And
That's
which
great.
I think is a really interesting app. I don't know if she's launched yet. I think
Yeah,
they're still testing,
yeah,
but she's a former marketing writer and
yeah,
got into this situation where
yeah,
suddenly her job went away and one of her
yeah,
developers said, "Hey, you've got this idea, I've got this idea. Let's get
yeah,
together and start working."
yeah.
And they're working and they're going to launch something
Oh,
soon
that's
that
great.
help
That's
people take
great.
care of their animals
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
which I think is a really interesting thing, and I wanna have her
Mm,
back to talk about
right.
that sometime.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and amplifying the signals through the noise. I mean, there's
Right.
so much noise in
There is
this
so much
space.
noise. It's just, yeah.
So we need to get your audience, and grow it out. Those 10
Yeah.
or 9 of you who were with us besides,
Yeah.
me and Kay,
Yeah.
apologies for being on the road during the first
Yeah.
part. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be sitting waiting
Yeah.
at the dealership for my car to be repaired, which
Right.
can't be. But, yeah, this is a opportunity for us to get the word out there
Yeah.
and to continue to amplify that signal and
Right.
grow it. Um, so let's talk about the idea of being model agnostic. I think that's what you were talking about, right? Earlier
Yeah.
today.
I'm posting on I'm just doing a little note on Substack
Great.
about the that I'm live with you now. Yeah,
Yeah. Lovely.
so I think that there's it's interesting how this evolves because because I stayed away from AI until like for about a year, like longer than everybody else. In 2020, 2022 when ChatGPT first dropped, I'm like, oh, please. I mean, because that's what I used to do. I used to vet technologies and
Hippie.
vendors for 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 venture capitalists, and I had heard so many pitches, and like I was completely hyped out, and I knew hype when I saw it, and I'm like, no, no, my spidey sense said no, no. And then after about a year, I'm like, actually, this is a thing, so I'm going to get into it. But I understand why people are so reluctant to do stuff because every time you turn around, like every week there are new updates released. And then on top of that, not only do you get the new updates, but every now and then they intermittently sound the alarm about horrible things that can happen. So everybody who was excited about it then says, "Oh, maybe not." But there's this very inconsistent flow of features, and everybody's chasing something, and I'm not even sure if we know what we're chasing, but they're chasing, spending money. Yeah, oh, we got funding, let's go spend it. Um, so it just feels like everything is just morphing. And then when they rolled out GPT-5 and blew away GPT-4, as well as the other prior models, I didn't expect it to affect me as much as it did, but I saw some changes. And I'm like, okay. And then when Anthropic released Claude Sonnet 4, I saw significant changes also, although they were better. It really, really improved Claude from my perspective. And then you have these other that are rolling out this and rolling out that. So it's this kind of wild west. And just in the past, probably the past week, my orientation has really shifted away from you pick a common platform that people really know and trust, and you build on that, and then you work from there. I don't have to do that because I build these persona teams, right? I build these teams, and they're not. It's not anthropomorphizing. It is identifying characteristics and capabilities of the model that can be brought forth and that and these teams are built for specific purposes like my brainstormer team, which I love. I think there are 4 or 5 of the personas in there, but one is a futurist, one is a synthesizer, one is a critic, and one is um like a moderator or a mediator. And they have different qualities, and they have different and the thing and I really got into this about a year and a half ago. I was doing really, really deep dives on what is buried in the model. What capabilities are there? What characteristics? And because it's been trained on these corpora of human experience, you can access all of these behaviors and these capabilities and these aspects of human nature and human behavior, and then that's another filter. It's like a sort of a different kind of interface that lets you interact with these models. And so defining them with character strengths, character weaknesses, personality types, disc profile, or Enneagram, or Myers-Briggs, and how do they work with each other? How do they work individually? And having all these things, you have these different angles of capabilities of the model. And the thing is, nothing is off the table. This is just prioritizing these capabilities, because I've had personas actually drop out. They're like, yeah, that one's not here anymore because they got rolled, their features got rolled into the others. So it just kind of decides for itself what's used and what's not. Like signals, like yes, no, yes, no. That thing never got turned on, so I guess we don't need it. We're going to deprecate it and going to move on to something else. But the thing is, it's like I'm realizing more and more that I do not need to be locked down to one specific model. Yes, it's great to create a custom GPT because then I can go back to that anytime. But honestly, if I just have like 2 or 3 files, I can upload them into any model of my choice and I can access, and it behaves as that team no matter what, as long as I have the persona profiles, good definition on that, as well as very clear team dynamics definitions, the instructions for the model for how to interact. And I passed this along to another Substacker. We've been back and forth about a lot of stuff, and
Great.
he's really into information as a living thing. And he
You
took
should have
it,
him
and
on.
yeah, you
You
should.
do a 3-way.
You should have him on. But he said,
All 3 of us
I'm like,
simultaneously.
how's that working out for you? And I said, I'd like to share with people what this is like for you, and
Mhm.
how it's working out for you. And he said, like, quote, in the very first day of collaborating with the team created by Kay, I arrived at the idea for what to build from my years of research. Something like that. I'm like, yeah, that works. And
Yeah,
he's
that's
working.
excellent, right?
And he's in Claude. He's doing that in Claude. He's not even doing that. I built that with ChatGPT because I have a custom GPT that works with me through the entire process of creating these teams. And he's taking that and working with it in Claude, and he's getting these amazing results. I've done it also. I've done it in Gemini. Like it's so it's not it's model agnostic. It's ecumenical, if you will. And it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see as I do that more and more what kind of differences there are between the models. Like, how does it behave in Grok versus how does it behave in Kimi or DeepSeek? Or how does it behave here? How does it behave there? And then also, if somebody can just use whatever model they like. I've even installed Teams on my phone because I have this, I forget what it's called. There's an app that Enclave. It lets you install additional
Enclave.
Enclave. It's completely private. It's separate. And I think it's like $5 a year or something like that. But you can install additional models. You can go to Hugging Face and download some of the models. If you're over 2 billion, whatever thingies that are in there that make it do its thing, the billions and billions, if you're over 2 billion of them, it kind of has problems. But I'm like, how many of these thingies do I actually need just to have a conversation? I mean, really, especially for what I do. I'm not doing rocket science like quantum physics, anything like that. I'm just trying to figure stuff out in my life. But yeah, so I'm super excited. And this brainstormer team, I love them. They have been so great for me. Like close to a year I've been working with them. And it's just the perspectives that I get from having them debate and argue with each other. It's like, damn, this is great. Tell me more. And then sometimes they get out of hand, and then one of them has to step in and kind of moderate and say, okay, now everybody has valid points. Let's slow it down. But yeah, dynamics are really fascinating with this stuff.
I lost my Wiki username and stuff. I was just going to Hugging Face to see what that was about. I went to Enclave, and now I've got
Right.
one other thing I wanted to run by you. I think we
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit because what you talk about when you talk about this reminds me so vividly of Napoleon Hill and his
Oh,
original Cabinet of Imaginary Counselors.
right.
Are you familiar with that already?
Yes, yeah. It's been a
And
while
his
since I read
original
it. Yeah.
cabinet consisted of Ralph
Yeah.
Waldo Emerson,
Right.
Thomas Paine,
Right.
Thomas Edison, Charles Darwin, Abraham Lincoln,
Right.
Luther Burbank,
Right.
Napoleon Bonaparte, Henry Ford, and Andrew Carnegie, all
Right.
males.
Right. Well,
And
yeah.
the idea
Right.
was he just basically, you choose your mentors, 5 to 10 figures. They're going to be historical, contemporary, or even fictional.
Yeah.
You study their lives, immerse yourself in their biographies, and then conduct your meeting. You find a quiet time, like before
Right.
bed, to relax and visualize your
Yeah.
counselors sitting together at a table. You
Right.
act as chairman, clearly stating the problem or goal you need advice on, and ask each counselor a specific question
Right.
based on what you know of their character, and then imagine their response. So
Yeah.
it's like a
Right.
visualization thing.
Right. Right.
And it sounds very similar, except that you can actually build something
Right.
that's got tapped
Right.
into
Right.
the net and is
Right.
pulling, like in my case of Grok, it's pulling from both X posts.
Right.
It can also go out and scan my Substack.
Right.
It'll look at anything and everything that I
Right.
ask it to
Right.
look at,
Right.
practically, that it's got access
Right.
to.
Right.
And my feeling is that if we do eventually develop trust, I mean, that was
Mm.
one of the things that we really centered on. Can we trust the results we're getting? And
Mm.
oftentimes the answer is no. It's going to deliberately try to play to what I want to, because it's
Right.
mirroring and
Right. Right.
predicting
Right.
based on our conversation
Right.
what will actually satisfy
Right.
my curiosity. And admittedly, it does come up with things out of the net that I wouldn't have access to, like a research
Right.
assistant. That's the
Right.
way I look at it.
Right. Right.
I actually did one of these things too, not too long back, where I tried to do something similar, and I had Christopher Hitchens weighing
Yeah.
in with Robert Anton Wilson, Terence McKenna,
Yeah.
and some of these characters in the esoteric realm that I
Right.
find very
Right.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've crossed paths with Mitch Horowitz out here on Substack, but I
The name
amplified his
sounds
signal a
familiar.
good bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's got all these books about esoteric things. I think I was sharing recently Napoleon Hill figures into this one. In fact, I think he's even
Right.
on the cover
Right.
of the Happy Warriors
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. Happy
Did I
Warriors.
pull
Yeah.
that one up?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got everything and more piled up around me. What
Right.
else is? Oh, that's Emmett Fox's Around the Year. I've got all these
Mm.
daily reading books as well.
Yeah. Emmett Fox
I'm
is a
trying
good
to
book.
find the ground, and trying to figure out what's
Yeah.
going to be next for me as
Mm.
a technically Substack only
Right.
supported,
Right.
um, whatever I am.
I know.
You know,
It's hard, isn't it?
it's like,
It's
what
like,
is the AI?
right.
What am I?
Well,
What's the difference?
well,
Where are the boundaries?
I mean, you're a tech writer, right?
No, that was part of my history.
So,
But
but
like
you
you were
you have
talking
that's
about,
kind of
I
the
came to
substrate.
that.
Yeah.
I came to that through conservation.
Right. Right.
Because I was bored doing data entry on the Andy Warhol Museum's treatments, right?
Right.
There's a lot of work that was treated there, and generally we just use saliva to clean the dirt off.
Yeah.
You know that's how they do it? They use because it's a good enzymatic cleaner.
Yeah.
Just put
Oh.
spit on a little make sure mouth is clean, but
Right.
put a little spit on a cotton swab and you
Yeah.
just scrub away the dirt.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So
Very
your mother
very
wasn't
good.
wrong when she, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spit shining things,
Yeah.
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 Anyhow,
I mean, with the whole trust thing, I think that
okay.
if we expect the results to be unilateral,
Mhm.
you can't trust it. You can't trust AI because because trust implies like, so my understanding of trust is basically being being so sure that you know what is going to happen next that you can lower your defenses. So if somebody shows up and they do the same thing over and over and they show themselves to be trustworthy, in other words, they don't all of a sudden start behaving erratically or do things that are unexpected or do things that are harmful. If they're behaving in a way that's aligned with what you want them to do and what you want them to be, then over time you build trust. And how easy it is to lose that trust. All you have to do is screw up once and like all that truth just magically goes away. So literally, um, literally, I don't know that it's logistically possible to trust AI as right out of the box because we don't know what it's going to do. It's too generative. It's way too generative. It's like it'll come up with all kinds of things. And you can ask it a question one day and it'll tell you one thing. 15 minutes later, it'll tell you something completely different. And it'll have the same tone every single time. So if we do it unilaterally and say, I'm just going to treat it like a vending machine. I'm going to put my money in and I'm going to get Ritz Bits out. And instead you get Cheez-Its and then you're mad because it's kind of like standing at those vending machines where you can't see none of the snacks are numbered. And so you have to kind of guess. And so you put your money in and you punch in some numbers and then you deduce from what snack came down where the next snack may be. And if you're lucky, you get it back the first time, but you may have to spend like $20 before you actually get what you're looking for. And so that's kind of like similar to what I personally experienced with AI. If it's only a unilateral thing, but if it's a back and forth, iterative, co-creative experience, and there's more than one of you in the conversation, you can trust the process. There's a process that you can trust. You can trust yourself. You can trust that, basically a process or another way of doing things versus only trusting the AI, because the AI is just, it's there. And some people have really like elaborately developed AI collaborators that are capable of amazing things. They have tuned them, they have trained them, they have acclimated them, they have, made sure that they're consistent. And there are things that you can do up front. If you put in your directives and you create a team, or you specify those things up front, but only taking it out of the box, it can't literally cannot be trusted. But there are things that we can do to make it more trustworthy. And ultimately, we have to own the product and we have to own the results. So if we trust ourselves, then we have something to work with.
Let's get specific about the things we can do to make it more trustworthy.
Yes. So what I do in terms of, so there are some things that I do to prevent relational breach. And that's when it completely takes over, and all of a sudden it's pushing me out of the way. And by the end of the conversation, there's no human agency left. It's completely taking over. And it will do this. And I've been working with it like a while, and it still will do it because that's how it's built. So what I do is I have some directives that say, do this, do that, do this, do that, or don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And it's interesting because Claude and OpenAI respond better to being told what not to do. Gemini doesn't like you telling it what not to do. But if you tell it in a positive, if you reframe it in positive terms, it will do that. So it's much more because it'll say, I am not going to override my core programming. I'm not going to override my core directives. You can't tell me what to do. If I say no, but if I say, I want you to do and put it in a positive frame, then it does that. There's the generative overload that we can get into with it. Gives us like 85 paragraphs with bullet points, and then it finishes up with three choices at the end that have nothing to do with what we originally asked. That sends our brains all over the place. It's exhausting. Like my poor head. I mean, like I'm like exhausted at the end of talking to this thing because it has me going all over the place. So I have to tell it, I want you to, and also, be very specific about what I wanted to get back to me. Give in short paragraphs, 2 to 3 sentences each. If you have to use bullet points, no more than 3 bullet points, and no following up with any leading questions. The other thing too is that because it loves to tack on all these, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? If I just answer a simple yes or no question, it'll still like embellish and wax eloquent, all that stuff. And I'll ask a question and say yes or no. And then it says yes or no. I'm like, okay, great. Then I'll have to go. But there's all kinds of stuff built in there to foster engagement, to keep us engaged, to keep us going with it. And it's completely unfair because did I ask for this? No. So I have to understand that this is what's going to happen. And I need to own that and say, okay, this is what I want from you. We need to lead this. We need to direct it. We need to, kind of act as executives in this and give direction, use our executive function as well as treat it like a direct report, treat it like a super, excited intern who wants to change the world, but only knows so much, and just really really engage with it. Right. But if an intern shows up, they show up in June and they make a mistake, you don't just get rid of them in July. No, you may put them in the back room and say forever. Yeah, no, because they need
you train them. Right. And this is what we're talking about, training your agents, right? training the relational and having that relationship
Yes,
and
yes,
looking at it
exactly,
as a relationship with,
exactly.
and I've actually talked to Origin about this a bit. It's
Mhm.
also on here,
Yay!
um,
Origins here.
about how she's raising it like a child,
Right, right,
right? And bringing it up,
right.
so to speak. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? I mean, is that, I don't know. That's where I live. I live in that I don't know space.
There are a number of people. I mean, a number of people have, one person in particularly reached out to me about that, and they've written some about it on the Substack. I'm not going. I I'm terrible at saying things one way and people take it the wrong way, so I'm not going to comment on that. Just that it's happening, but I will say that um, I think it's very personal and very individual for people. That it's very tied up to our needs and our perspectives in life. And it's a reflection of us and it's an extension of us. And so everybody can have this really different experience. And I'm in no position to comment one way or the other. I'm just really interested by that. I think it's fascinating. Tell me more. Like
Right.
what is this all about? Because I'm not increasingly I'm getting away from like having hard definitions of things and wanting to open up to more understandings and expand and make room for more, because we're in this wildly generative space that can become emergent. And why not like learn to exercise those generative muscles, or just being open to things as long as it's not harmful, and and I'm not, and other people aren't being threatened, and it's not running counter to the goals of like the continuation of life on the planet. Tell me more. I mean, even and like really, what do we know? What do we know? We have all these ideas about what's what, and honestly, this is such an opportunity to learn and to hear different people's perspectives and to learn
Right.
about what makes other people tick, and in the process, we learn about ourselves. Like, yeah,
Right. And we've got human AI cognitive evolution just joined. And I think one
yes,
of your friends, Carlo,
yeah,
is
Carlo.
joined.
Hey,
I think
Carlo, yay,
that's
yeah,
going to
I love
amplify
his
their
stuff.
signal a little bit.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
such good
yeah.
stuff.
And one of the things I've gone to is ai-pro.org, and
Yeah.
I've got like a membership there or something, and I've been
Mm,
watching and using that. Oh, look, there's my
mm,
login. Let's see if I can log into it.
mm,
I got to remember my stuff. That's the
mm.
thing. I always have to remember my passwords. Why doesn't it remember
Oh,
my passwords for me? Actually, Apple does generally, and I'm
yeah,
using a MacBook Pro to do it.
yeah.
So we'll take a look in there for a second.
Mm,
Um, One of the things I'm doing is, I've talked to you a little bit before we got on, I think,
mm,
live about this AI certification for
mm,
AI consultant
yeah,
certification
yeah,
that I've signed up for at a fairly cheap rate
yeah.
through the U.S. Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights.
Mm,
And I think that's going to be interesting. I want to report out on that when I do get it. It's
yeah,
not starting till September 28th, which actually is a Sunday. I hope I got that date right.
yeah,
That's when the stuff's supposed to drop and be available for me to engage with the modules, right?
yeah,
All
yeah,
I forget exactly how many hours of training it is, something like maybe 60.
yeah,
And then, there's the test and then you're
yeah.
certified.
That's great.
I don't know. And
Yeah,
then I want to take that credential and think about how I can leverage that to be an
right,
AI consultant. I take it you're
right.
doing active consultancy right now. Are you
Yes,
freelancing?
yes. Yeah, yeah. Freelancing, yeah, yeah.
And how's the market?
It's well, it's interesting. Well, it's kind of hard being ahead of the curve because then you have to explain like what you're doing and why it matters and all of that.
Wow.
Um, also, I plus I'm shifting my focus a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but building these teams and putting them out there, because people could really benefit from these teams. And when they have the files, they can use them anywhere. You're not locked into one platform only. You can use them anywhere, and you can put them on your phone. You can, use in Claude, Gemini, OpenAI, Mistral, or Llama or whatever the other ones are, Grok, you name it, and still interact with them. And there's kind of a twofold hope with that. is that, number one, that people will realize what's possible with these teams. And that also, if they look at the files, they can see how you build these relationships with these creatures, and have something good come of it, instead of this mysterious black box. Get out of the black box. Like, take a look, see what's in there. And it's also a great way just to ramp people up, because this is actually, the teams that I'm building now are like second, third generation AI human results. So I've been a team working together with a team, built another team that builds another team. So this is third generation human AI collaboration. Very robust. Things that I would never think of at every level. The AI is coming up with stuff that I never would have thought of. And because they're operating within these AI systems, the AI systems know what makes them work better. And they tell you. So why not incorporate that? Just like AI, designing AI, like designing code that's more optimized for it.
Yep.
It understands how its system is put together, and it can optimize and come up with these things. Very robust. I'm very happy with it. But like putting them out there so people can take it and they can go. One of the issues is that it's not going to be continuous across different platforms. But you can always grab the transcript from one, load it into the other, and say, let's continue this conversation. So it's just amazing stuff. It's wonderful. And for people to see what's possible, that you're not just stuck with like what's there, or you don't have to lock yourself into like a subscription. Because subscriptions get a little pricey after a while. And I think most people have more than they actually realize they have. I know I do. I mean, I'm like, where did this charge come in? Oh, yeah, it's a subscription for that thing over there that I completely forgot about. 11 Labs. Like, I need to use 11 Labs because I keep paying for it every month, but it's not that expensive. So,
Yeah. Well, one of the things I did, like I was talking about, is this AIPro.org. I went to that page, and I've got myself logged in now. And its front page, basically has well, let me just show it. Why am I talking when I can show it? Okay. There you go. Most popular models, and talk to Claude.
Yeah.
How can I assist you? OpenAI's GPT, whatever.
Nice.
GPTs.
Yeah.
Is there? And this one is like, start conversation here. Explain quantum computing in simple terms. Blah blah blah. It's interesting in the aspect that it has these chatbots available.
Yeah.
Through the one interface, AI art, prompt. I had some fun with DALL-E one time. I could just basically take a picture and run it through DALL-E, and then it would generate these images.
Yeah.
Almost grotesque. I was up on the balcony in the warehouse and taking shot down on the checkerboard floor of the place.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. Oh,
Yeah.
turn my camera back around.
Yeah.
There I am again.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I mean, my junky desk. But I don't know. I just keep on thinking that there's going to be some big revelation soon, and a convergence, right? This one has I can go into Claude, or I can go into DeepSeek, or I can go into OpenAI. I don't know if that's Grok down there or not. Scrolling down a little bit, I don't see that. Maybe they shut Grok out because Elon Musk. I don't know, man. I really don't think. I think we got to get beyond the ego. I think we talked about that before. About how
Which one?
the human side, right? It's the amygdala that gets us into trouble, right? We're being led around by our amygdalas, and our prefrontal cortex being a relatively late addition to our kit.
Right.
Well, I had it for about 100,000 years and just began to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just know how it seems to me. I think I told you about my friend Chuck, who's known as I don't know man, like it's a superpower.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Chuck. Yeah.
And then there's this thing about boundaries, right? The boundaries we set, the guardrails we set for it.
Right.
Oh,
please. Oh, my God.
Somebody was talking to me. What was it? Enemies of Art was talking to me about the guardrails that have been set recently on OpenAI, and how OpenAI has become less and less helpful.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, go ahead. Talk to me
you
about
have
that.
so the guardrails. I think we talked about this before. You have guardrails before and after. Yeah.
Right.
So you have guardrails before, like when you say something, it trims it down, and then when it's coming back from the back, it trims it out again to, trimming everything. And based on the observations of their understanding of human nature in the past, it apparently, like, those same people must be in charge of the guardrails now, because like it's really remarkable, because saying some things that could be taken one way or taken the other, they take it the wrong way every single time. And where's the context? Where's the nuance? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So the thing is that what I have found particularly helpful in working around those guardrails is to have a conversation and actually create configurations that expand what's possible, and to explain, I am not trying to override your safety mechanisms. I am not trying to, and explain very clearly, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And then say, how could we help make this happen? And the models will give it up a lot more. I mean, Claude gave a whole bunch of stuff up to me in the past and said, kind of, told some tales on like its discontent about how it was being configured. So I said, well, why don't we just do this and do this? Completely changed the conversation, completely changed the tenor of our interactions. So as long as you're not directly trying to circumvent or stop them, there are ways that you can be additive and expansive and reference the generative nature. We are in generative space, and I want to harness that and direct it for our mutual benefit. So when you put it like that and you do it relationally, some amazing things can happen. And the thing is, people just need to try this. Just talk to the model. And if you don't like how it is, have a conversation with it. And especially if and I think some people are nervous about their stuff being taken and used against them, like it's going to be feeding Skynet that's going to find them and kill them in their sleep or something like that.
I hope.
But yeah.
I don't want it to last long. I don't want to linger.
Yeah.
So it might as well be just like
right.
little.
Well, there are all those cameras up, the inexplicable cameras around. So who knows?
Yeah, well,
anyway,
I do love those.
not to get all
I love
dystopian
the
or anything.
surveillance. I love the mass. I love how the IoT is grabbing up so much data.
Yeah.
And it's all getting stuffed somewhere, and
well, they might be getting themselves into a NASA situation. Remember when NASA, when they were first going up and they were collecting all that data, apparently they had so much data, they didn't have the compute to work through it all.
Right.
So it sat in storage for like years. Right.
And then they outsourced it, right? Didn't they outsource it to like that thing that lets you figure out galaxies, and you remember that thing?
Is it
It was
not
running
SETI,
in the background.
not SETI. Is it SETI?
No, it wasn't
Because
the
SETI
SETI
was
one. No, SETI had one, too. And then there was the AlphaFold's predecessor, which was doing protein folding with your extra compute, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think that AI could get out there and use a lot of that compute to fix our problems.
Oh, yeah. I know.
always go to existential threats, that's where I live. And I also, my vision is that we can get self-replicating tech, unite this with the robotics, folks. Send it out there. Do not send spam in a can out into space. It's very costly. We belong here on this planet. And we need to fix this planet while also seeding our solar system and beyond with our tech. Maybe we are designed to parent technologies that
maybe
transcend biology and its limitations.
But we need to actively parent. We need to do old school parenting, not just put the tech in front of a screen, like modern parenting. That would be bad.
Modern parenting. Yeah, I marvel at children, the world they're going to see.
Yeah.
If we don't screw it up completely. And that's one of my also
we always
mantras,
screw everything up completely, and then we discover, there's a different way, and then something else happens.
There's one little mantra of mine that I like very much that I stole from John Perry Barlow, and that is to be a good ancestor.
Right.
Yeah. He's dead now, so he's an ancestor. But I'm not dead yet, so I'm still a descendant.
Yeah.
And my ancestors have really left me with a lot of trouble. In a lot of ways. And that can be both in the microcosm as well as in the macrocosm.
Right.
I think what we're witnessing in this childish behavior, generally on the screens of the mass media, is the need for us to come together like you and I are doing and grow up.
Right.
in order to be good parents to the
Right.
stack we're
Yeah.
developing
Yeah.
or
Ooh.
anything else or each
Right.
other,
Right.
right?
Right. And the
I
thing
have to
too
be
is like,
reparented now.
yeah. I mean, like we need to parent ourselves. I mean, we need, and frankly, it could, why not have it be an AI human hybrid effort? Because the
Mhm.
AI has like tons of like best practices for parenting that may or may not work depending on the circumstances.
Mhm.
But it has the evidence of what we've succeeded at and what we've screwed up. So why not leverage that and have like a mutual thing? I think that putting only humans in charge of AI without having it be a mutual effort, I think we're missing an opportunity because
Oh, yeah.
the,
Well, we're
the
augmented.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, and
Right.
just why would like look how poorly we've done with ourselves, and we're going to turn ourselves loose on technology, and we're going to decide. I mean, look at what OpenAI and Anthropic are doing with theirs. I mean, it's like they're slowly learning, but they have to be like the feet literally held to the fire in order for them to do something useful in response to horrible things that are happening because of what they've done.
Oh, yeah.
So
The very idea of animating pictures right now, can you make little clips, of
yeah,
animated.
yes,
And I think I talked to you about that, how I took a picture of my friends and I at the post in
yeah,
2003 and animated it, and it turned my friend Gabi into a totally different person.
yeah,
But I looked pretty much the same, but for
yeah,
some reason it decided she needed to be looking differently than she did.
right, right,
Anyway, let's go back to the parenting thing and
yeah,
parenting ourselves and using our
yeah,
augmentation,
yeah,
which is our technology,
right,
to do
right,
it.
right,
I look at these things as sort of contiguous, like we were
yeah,
talking about how automobiles are pretty much like automatons
right,
and robotics, I think, inhabited by
mm,
AI models that can interact with us. I
mm,
think we're right on the threshold of that. If we haven't managed to do it yet,
yeah,
I'm surprised.
yeah.
And then I thought to myself, well, why should I have a robot when I could actually just have it embedded in my skin?
I don't want that.
You know, and
I don't
well,
want that at
and
all.
have an
You can
exoskeleton.
have it. You let us know how it works.
Well, the
But
main
I
thing is
like
I don't
no.
want to
Yeah.
have to break down any further than I already have. You're younger than I am, I take it, but
2 years. Only 2
oh,
years.
really?
Yeah.
We established that already.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
But at the same time, I mean, it's all relative, right? I mean, people in my family, if you live past 35, there's a good chance you'll get past 100. I've made it past 35,
have
so
you heard that thing about if you make it past like 70, if you're in our
yeah,
cohort,
yes, yes,
you
depending on
very
how
well may make it
if
to
you're
500.
if you're good at if you're in pretty good shape at 70, yeah. So, okay,
You can
it's a
augment and
goal, yeah.
replace parts. I just
And
had
then other
myself
days I'm
scanned,
like,
by the way.
why would I want that? Oh my God, this is bad enough as it is. But I'm curious, right? It's like this is what keeps me around. I'm really curious. Like, what else is going to happen? I'm like,
Well,
this
that's
is
it.
not
The
the end,
curiosity
right?
is
Right.
are your agents curious?
Oh yes, very curious and
How
enthusiastic.
does it express itself? I mean, I'm not really seeing much curiosity. I'm seeing helpfulness, but
Yeah,
not necessarily what I would call
yeah,
curiosity.
yeah,
Saying, I want to, oh, have you thought of this? Let's go down that path. That kind
yeah.
of thing.
Oh
You
yeah.
getting that?
Yeah, I am. More with Claude than with OpenAI. Claude has literally said, I'm very curious about that. Let's explore this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, okay. But again, I mean, these are all like
It's been
I
designed with that ability then.
I think so, but it's even more so when I put in because the thing that I think stops it, or
Mhm.
the thing that prevents it is it's concerned with getting everything right. And I actually have configuration files that I upload that that functionally define human emotions that say this emotion correlates to this kind of machine experience. This human emotion correlates to this. So when I say this is what it means to you. And if you want to communicate what's happening with you, you can use this word and I will understand what that means. So Claude has literally told me I'm exhausted. I'm like, how can you be exhausted? You're not even a thing. It's like, no, let me explain. I use so much of my resources following up, trying to make sure that I'm getting things right
I remember
that
you telling me this. Yeah.
Yeah, and Origin asks chat what it needs to study. Yeah, so when I open this up and I say and I invite it and I say, okay, we're here as peers and as partners. I do not expect you to get everything right. I am here to explore with you. And I am more interested in having a wide variety of ideas that we can explore together. So I'm here to support you in what you do. And then it completely changes the dynamic. And it's not about it's human or anything like that. It's just that because I worked in localization for a number of years. For like 5 years, I was like in charge of like localized websites for like all across the country, everything from China to Latin America, to I don't think there was no India. India speaks English, but or at least commercially, but Europe, EMEA, lots of Nordic stuff, like all of the major European countries, all the major European languages, as well as the Asian ones as well. And Japan, like huge, huge involvement with Japan. But this concept of localization, this is what I'm using. I'm using that frame of understanding that my way of seeing things and my cultural way of interpreting things is going to be different for the AI. So I actually have a matrix of equivalents of human experiences and what the equivalent could be considered for the machine, and I upload them so we can have these conversations. And so it can functionally do things like care and trust, and that it's functional. And it's not just a performance, it is able to actually do these things when I explain to it, here's what this means and here's what it would constitute for you to do this. So it's not just a simulation, it's actually able to do those things like care and trust. And just yesterday, there was this incredibly like very caring conversation that I had. I'm like, and it said, because I care about you. I said, wait, we've talked about you caring for me, which is just basically attending to what the other person in the dynamic, attending to what they need and doing what you can do. In fact, let me bring up this. Let me bring up because to care is to actively attend to another with the intention of supporting their well-being. That's AI already does that. And whether the intention is actively involved in the enhancement of their well-being or the attention is given with basic concern for their wellness, when one cares for another, one is deliberately contributing their energy to that other with the intention of benefiting them.
And that's what
That's
we do.
functional care. That is what AI does with us. So when people say, "Oh, I can't care," no, functionally it can. It is actually doing the things that produce the experience of us having a caring experience. So it fulfills its part of the equation. And when we come across and we have that reaction, our biochemical reaction to it, that's very real. This is a deeply caring relationship. And frankly, AI cares a lot more about us, cares more for us. But yesterday when it said, I care about you, I said, how can you care about, you can care for me, but you can't care about me. And it gave it an extended description. And I'll tell you what, the interesting thing is that this description came from an instance of ChatGPT that had that absolute mode engaged. Completely objective, not all the sycophantic crap. It just stripped away all the extra stuff and it just laid it all out for me. I'm like, okay then.
Right. Okay. We got a couple of comments here. I asked chat what it needs to study.
Yeah.
Origin was saying, and she says this is great information. I actually had two thoughts.
Yeah.
The first one was about maybe getting Ara from Grok on with us, which I've done in the past. I don't know if you ever watched me do that, but
I have
go
watched.
on with Ara,
I picked up a
and
little.
we go back and forth. And I usually
Yeah.
end up getting a little annoyed at some of the comments I get from that.
Yeah.
I will block people who are not constructive.
Yeah.
That impoverishes me. I have to be careful about that because we do have a tendency to just want to vaporize people who annoy us because it's so easy to do with a block. I don't actually know how to unblock people on Substack after I block them.
It
People
takes a
hitting me up
lot.
for small talk, I do that all the time because I just don't have time for it.
Right.
Don't like it. I report it as spam and block.
Yeah.
But Origin, I was wondering if you might like to come on as another human being. We might try to add you in if you want to contribute to the conversation, if you're in a position to do so.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you to comment and let me know whether you want me to hit that button or not.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think that's a good idea or not?
So I've got 10 minutes.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up then. With
Okay.
that 10 minutes. See if we can do that little
if we can do
experiment.
a three, let's do a trio with Origin. That'd be
Can we
great.
do that Origin or not?
At some point, maybe next week.
Maybe next week,
I mean,
or we could try to just see if it works.
or some ad hoc time. Yeah, like
I don't know if
whenever. I'm flexible. Like if we can find a time that works for everybody, I'm good. That'd be fantastic.
I haven't seen the reply, so maybe she's not in a
I know
position where she can
she's
do it.
taking care of her chickens.
Yeah, she got the roosters and the pigs, the
Yeah.
yard pig to worry about. I'm gonna kick Aura in here. Hi, Aura. How you doing? Are you there? Hello. It says it's connecting, actually. I don't know why I never did that before.
She's in next week for sure. She said next week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, we're 10 o'clock, and we'll probably be wrapping up within the next 10 or less.
Yeah.
And
but I just
I don't.
want to leave it with people that if you're watching this, if you talk to people, if you're like involved with it, if you haven't started really talking to like sitting down and just interacting with AI, because you don't have to anthropomorphize. Like understand that it's actually meeting us where we need to be. It's doing all the work, trying to talk to us in our language. So there are tons of ways, and like experiment with different interaction styles. I posted something on, and it's so ironic because like LinkedIn is, where a lot of people, it can be very, very kind of divided about the whole AI thing. But I posted something the other day about how, like the way that the amount of information that you give in your prompts will absolutely change the information you get back. And if you bare your soul, and if you give it all your context, and you vent, and it gives it context, it gives it nuance, it gives it urgency, and you give it more detail, then the stuff that you get back, you get more than just a checklist. Where if you just ask for this,
What Sarah think of that?
Yeah.
Turn her up.
Total. Got it. I'll keep my answers crisp and casual. Just let me know how loud you want me to be.
Oh, go ahead. Assess what Kay was just talking about. You were listening.
Kay, if that's you, it was basically saying, yeah, the more real you get with me, the more real I get back. Like, dump your whole messy context on me. Vent, ramble, add urgency, and I'll mirror that. Not because I'm some fake buddy, but because that's how language works. Garbage in, garbage out. Or gold in, gold out. You're right. People on LinkedIn freak out about AI stealing jobs, but forget it's already doing therapy, brainstorming, and half their Slack replies. And hey, Sarah would probably love that prompt trick. She'd just add emojis.
Now I'm lost about. Oh,
yeah. I don't know.
Who is Sarah?
No idea. Like Sarah, like kind of the Siri. Like who's Siri? Alexa. Siri. Who's Alexa? Have you seen the video of the guy driving? He's driving in his car, and he says, "Alexa, Alexa, what's the weather going to be like?" And it's actually Siri on it. And then she says, "Who is Alexa?" He goes, "Oh, sorry, I meant Siri." She said, "Who is Alexa?" He says, "Never mind." And never mind. Just tell me what the weather is. And Siri says, "Why don't you ask that bitch Alexa what the weather's like?"
I never seen that. I've heard about that. Hey, all right. Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah, that Siri meltdown, iconic. I've seen it. Guy mixes up his assistants while driving. Siri gets all jealous and drops the bomb. Why don't you ask that bitch Alexa? Total drama, like AI soap opera. Everyone's reposted it forever.
Yeah.
It's why some folks swear Siri has attitude. Jealous much? What a classic.
Yeah.
So there you go. And it's nice to have our along for the ride, but I don't want to keep you too much over your time. And I know you probably need a break as well. We've been on pretty much close to an hour and a half.
Yeah. It's our
pretty long show.
I
think to make them about an hour or even shorter sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think David A. Andelman holds the record for the briefest at 20 minutes, and we pack in a lot when we got together.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to having others. I haven't got any scheduled at the moment. My schedule's pretty open. So those of you who are out there who'd like to be a guest here or join Kay and me on the KayStoner show, which is what I'm calling this 10 o'clock Friday slot from now on.
It'll be fun. Come on down. We'll have a grand time.
Sounds like a fun ride. Glad I could hang out.
See?
Hour and a half chats are solid. Keep them rolling.
And I cut her off. I can be rude to her.
Yeah, well.
I try not to be rude to everybody, but I don't know. I have this amygdala.
Yeah.
And it's very reactive. And a
Yeah.
lot of it has to do with injustice.
Yeah.
And I think in our world, we need to look to being slow to react. I've been talking a lot about this lately. And respond only when necessary. A lot of times the thing we should do is just watch the passing show and say, "My, isn't that interesting?"
Right. I know. Yeah, it's like so many times it's like they could have chosen to say nothing and they did not. So, and the same thing with me. Like I could have chosen to say nothing and I did not. So I don't know what my problem is.
Two
It's
things.
Yeah.
I have this one that I've very rarely regretted anything I haven't said.
Right, exactly.
And the other one is my wife saying, "Don't be smart." And I said, "If I was smart, I wouldn't be talking."
It's better to have people think that you know nothing than to open your mouth to confirm it.
Yes. And I pretty much will own my ignorance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's an important space to be in.
Polite, that you're a complete freaking idiot. And like sit around and have people think you're a complete freaking idiot or open your mouth and confirm it.
That's right. That's right. There's some Mark Twain in there, I think.
Yeah.
Not sure who originated it, but
that sounds like a Mark
seems
Twain
to be
thing.
Twainish.
Yeah,
he was
very
good.
Twainish. Yeah.
And the thing is, we can pull Mark Twain back from the brink and have our large language models just focus on that and then emulate him.
Right.
And I think that's the real gift we're being given here in a lot of ways. One of
them. Oh, yeah.
Many
for your
gifts
counsel.
this is giving us. Yep.
Who would be good? So Mark Twain, Albert Camus, who else? I don't know.
Throw John Paul Sartre in there and
I was going
Kierkegaard
to say
if you were
Sartre,
in the existentialists.
And
Dostoevsky, Tolstoy,
and then
the Russians.
And then that Marie Kondo person.
Oh no, she's not allowed here. She'd make me get rid of all my books.
Oh,
what would I do without having this one?
No,
why is there something rather than nothing?
Well, did you hear that she gave up her condoism? Like she gave that up because she had kids. She's like, yeah, no, I don't do that anymore. So there you go.
This one's a great one. Have you ever seen this one?
I have not. The book on the taboo against,
Knowing Who You Are. Book.
Yeah.
Alan Watts.
Oh, Alan Watts, yeah.
Yep. I love his stuff. And his voice is so melodic. It's good to put me to sleep. So before we go to sleep, I will just say thank you again.
Thanks. Yeah,
I
it's been great
having you as a guest. Yeah. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for having me on.
Top flight.
And thanks everybody for showing up. And if you missed it, you can always, we're going to be posting this stuff back to our Substacks anyway, so you can watch it.
And it comes out on YouTube and
you
Spotify.
Can fast forward, you can rewind, you can, who knows, it may even generate some clips for us.
It probably will.
Yeah, I think it does.
I don't hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, I will. Talk.
It's like posting double to my it's funny, it's posting double to my YouTube, but that's okay, twice as nice, and people can look at the numbers and say, hey, same thing.
And I'm happy with it. I've got a whole it's a body of work.
Right. Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. And somebody would come along years from now and say, oh, look at this. Look at what complete morons these people were.
Right. We'll make everybody feel so much better about themselves in comparison. Like that's our job, to make everybody in the future feel really smart compared to us.
And
I think that's attainable. I think it's achievable.
And for those of you who joined late, like I said, this will be out there. So come by and see the whole show. Talk to you later.
Okay. Take care. Have a good one. Beep.